first time when his mother's stomach is cut open, they ask him to badmouth the Prophet and ask him to deny that Islam is a religion. So in the first time he says, no, I won't do it. The second time, when his father's eyes are carved out in front of him, he says, no, again, I won't do it. And each time, every day, the Prophet would go to these areas where this was happening, and he would talk to his Sahaba and he would say, have patience. And the third day, when he is the one being tortured, this time they're torturing him, and they tell him to again badmouth the Prophet, curse him, and tell him for him to admit that Islam is not the truth, that what the Prophet is spreading is lies. And at the third day, when he cannot bear the torture any longer, he says, yes, his words are lies and Islam is not the truth. But as he's saying this, he's crying, he's bawling, like crying heavily. After that, they release him. They get what they want, so they release him. He runs to the Prophet. He goes, Ya Rasulullah, I did what they asked. I failed you. I'm sorry. And he's crying. So the Prophet, he just sits. He's quiet. And he says, did you mean any of what you said? And he says, no, Ya Rasulullah. The words didn't even cross my throat. He says, I'm only human. I'm only human and I couldn't bear it any longer. Forgive me. The Prophet says, he looks at him and he says, in order to protect yourself, and you have said something that will badmouth religion or Islam, but you didn't mean it at heart, it's okay. And at that time, an ayah is sent to him in his name. An ayah is sent down. When I think of that incident, we're all human. It gets unbearable sometimes. So I would remind him of this incident and tell him that I'm only human and I get tired, and if I can't do more to help, please forgive me. And the most I can do, and I would ask him for forgiveness and maybe give shafa'a to my parents because they did their best and they're struggling more than I am. So that's probably what I would say.
If you had the chance to speak to all Uyghurs, how would you motivate them?
I would tell them to not be discouraged and have faith and patience, because a lot of people care about this cause, East Turkestan cause, and a lot of people are talking about it. And channels like this and young people especially are trying their best to make their voice heard. So don't be discouraged because we're doing everything we can.
If you had the chance to address the whole world, what would you say to people about East Turkestan?
So the East Turkestan genocide, the past 10 years or 8 years, it has gotten really strict. But this has been going on for 70 years. This has been going on for a really long time. It's just now more people are talking about it because it has started becoming systemized. So people like you with these YouTube channels and other creators, if they can speak up about this, that's the only thing we can do, unfortunately, now. But that's the best thing we can also do. Raising awareness and keeping us in your prayers, and just don't forget us and don't normalize what is happening. That's what I would say.